Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. So in today's video, we'll be checking out the latest device from Realme, the X3 Superzoom. And by the time you watch this video, I probably would have already been using this device for about 1 week now. So for your information, this is currently recording on the Realme X3 Superzoom's front-facing camera in its ultra-wide mode. So before I start off this video, I just want to let you guys know that this is going to be a very honest opinion on my thoughts with the Realme X3 Superzoom. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump into the review right away. Now the reason why it has this super zoom naming at the back is because it comes with this 60 times zoom, which is pretty awesome, and I'll talk about it later. First up, let's talk about the design. So design wise, I would say that it's pretty classic, nothing really too outstanding over here. The good thing I like about the back is that it comes in these really nice matte materials. So if you have your oily fingers, your fingerprints will not stick to the back of this device. It's really that good. But the bad news here is that it's so smooth that it's actually very slippery to hold on to this device. And to be honest, I've almost dropped this device a couple of times now. But yeah, just bear in mind that it's a very slippery device. Moving on to the side, we actually see this side-mounted fingerprint scanner, and it is really fast. It unlocks really quickly and it's just so easy to use because it's like situated at the perfect position. So that's good. What I don't like about this tiny little button here though is that it sticks out a bit and it has these rough edges on the sides that actually is pretty sharp, so you don't really get a smooth slide across it. Another thing I don't like is that the button actually feels pretty, I don't know how do you say it, but the button just doesn't feel good. Let me let you hear how it sounds like. Do you hear that? Alright, yeah, so don't want to fidget too much with that button. I mean, it's there, and yeah, the fingerprint scanner is pretty quick, so I guess that's good for now. Alright, moving on to the front, we get this dual hole kind of front selfie camera here, so that's also pretty standard. Not the first time we've seen that. In terms of the bezels all around, we get pretty slim bezels on 3 sides, but at the bottom, we do get a fairly thick chin at the bottom here. Yeah, it doesn't really bother me, but some of you guys might not like what you see. For me, it's pretty alright. Alright, so overall in terms of design, I would say that it's pretty standard, really nothing much to shout about here, and I like the fact that it fits perfectly in my hand, so definitely not too big and not too small, just perfectly sized that I can grip it with one hand. Yeah, that's it. Alright, moving on to the display. Okay, so this is a pretty good display. Why I say that is because it is a 120Hz refresh rate display, so moving around, navigating throughout the device is very smooth. It is fluid smooth. So the bad news here is that obviously this is an LCD display, so you don't get that great viewing angles. You're missing out on the great contrast levels. Of course, the saturations are also not that high, but yeah, that's what to be expected from an LCD panel. So if you ask me, I personally would prefer an AMOLED panel because I'm just so used to the like great contrast levels, deeper blacks, and just looking at colors pop up at me. But of course, it's still a great thing that we have this high refresh rate display so that everything just feels fluid. Moving on, let me talk very quickly about the performance. So you already know that this device comes with a Snapdragon 855 Plus. It also comes with 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB of internal memory. So that's a lot of numbers here, guys. Just so you know, this actually got the highest scores for the AnTuTu benchmark for devices using the Snapdragon 855 Plus. So according to Realme, this is the strongest 855 Plus Snapdragon processor they can find in any phone out there. And in terms of the experience, of course, it's great, guys. I mean, like navigating on a day-to-day basis, using your social media, taking photos with the camera, everything is just fast. Apart from that, in terms of gaming, I also play a couple of games, Mobile Legends and PUBG. And the good news here is that the graphics goes all the way up to Ultra. And yeah, the experience is really cool, guys. So gaming on this device is definitely not an issue. Everything is very smooth. In terms of how warm this device gets, according to Realme, they actually have some kind of unique cooling system at the back here. I'm not sure what it actually is, but based on my personal experience, the device does get a bit warm, and it's just a very standard kind of warm. But because Realme is saying they have this liquid cooling system, so I'm not sure how that is actually working because it still gets a little warm. Obviously not to the point where it is uncomfortable, but I just felt that I should point that out. Alright, so in terms of performance, nothing much to say there because it's just excellent. Moving on, let me just talk very quickly about the speakers at the bottom. Now, this is a single firing speaker and it gets really loud, But the thing is, the sound quality is just, it's not that good. It is just average. So single firing speaker, I wished it came with a dual stereo speakers, but we get one single speaker, and yeah, I guess I'm fine with that. What I'm not really too happy with is that the headphone jack is kind of missing here, and you don't find it anywhere on the device. So those of you who actually still rely on headphones like me, yeah, you probably got to go and move on to using Bluetooth devices. Alright, so that's done for the speakers. Now let's move into the most important point, the cameras at the back. So in terms of the cameras, we have a quad camera here, and let me just shoot you guys some numbers. So first of all, we have a 64 megapixel main sensor that came from Samsung. It is a Samsung GW1, and that is supposed to be pretty good. We also get an 8 megapixel ultra wide, an 8 megapixel periscope lens, and a 2 megapixel macro lens. Alright, so those are just the numbers, but in terms of how this actually performs, let me tell you how it performs. Alright, so under perfect weather conditions, when the skies are blue and the sun is out, the device can obviously take very good photos. Sharpness levels are high, you don't see much noise, the colors are great, it looks natural, it doesn't look oversaturated, and it's very, very nice. In terms of night mode, it also gets pretty good. I would say this is one of the nicer ones that take very good photos at night. There's not much noise as always, and it doesn't look like it has been edited too heavily. So that's what I really appreciate about the camera here. Alright, in terms of the zoom, now this is where it gets pretty crazy. So the 60 times zoom allows you to see way more than your naked eye, and that is a proven fact. So obviously I've been using this device and I've been stocking quite a lot of things, weird stuff. So like for example, if you just check out this particular video, I was actually able to use the 60 times zoom to see what's happening on the opposite side of the mall. So instead of walking all the way over there, I could just take out my camera, my realme X3 Superzoom, launch the camera, get into 60 times zoom, and actually see what's the promotion going on at the opposite end of the mall. So in this case, it's just 30% off, so I won't walk over there. Apart from that, you can also use this camera to like see, let's say you forgot your vehicle's number or registration plate. So you can just launch the zoom once again from the 10th or 12th floor and just point it at your car and maybe just, remind yourself what your car number plate is. So obviously when the device is at 60 times zoom, you won't be able to get a crisp, clear kind of image. It comes with some kind of noise, it's not the clearest, but that's to be expected because this is 60 times zoom we're talking about, guys. So I realized that the sweet spot of shooting with this camera is at 10 times zoom. So anything below 10 times zoom looks fine, it's still usable. But if you go beyond 10 times zoom, it will look a bit grainy and just not that good. But yeah, once again, this is literally like having a set of binoculars in your pocket, guys. So really giving it a thumbs up for the 60 times zoom. Okay, in terms of videos, guys, so videos wise, this Realme X3 Superzoom comes with, it maxes out at 4K at 60 FPS, and so far it looks pretty okay. I'll show you guys a quick sample so you can judge how it's like. Alright, checking out the camera. This is 4K at 60 FPS. So we've got a lot of cars here, some random vans that I found here. You have those in white, those in black as well. So yep, anyone wants to buy a car? Yeah, just testing the camera video performance. This is how it's like. I'm not walking too quickly, but yeah, just some normal speed here. Okay, that's it for the video. Alright guys, that's it for the camera test. Moving on to the front, we do have this selfie camera which takes some decent shots. So what I really like about this selfie camera here is that the ultra wide is really helpful in getting like your entire family in the shot. So sometimes when you go out to your dinner or whatnot and you just want to get a selfie with your family, sometimes you're only able to add in 1 or 2 siblings. So with the ultra wide, you can add in up to 5 or 6 siblings. So yeah, that's good news for you guys. Last but not least, let's talk about the battery. So the battery on this device, I've been using mine under like maximum refresh rate, like not the smart kind of refresh rate. So mine is at 120 Hz throughout the entire day. And I realized I was able to get in a 1 full day under one single charge. So at the end of the day, you still need to charge your device, but it definitely was able to last a full day. And the good news here is charging is pretty quick. It might not be the quickest, but it's quick enough. So 0 to 100% in 55 minutes for me on the Realme X3 Zoom. Yeah, it's definitely good in my books. Alright guys, I think to sum this up, what do I think about the Realme X3 Superzoom? Will I recommend this? Definitely, of course, yeah. And this is for a certain kind of people who really want to use that crazy zoom. Obviously, if the price is not that expensive, we don't have an official price right now, but yeah, by the time you see this video, the pricing will be out, so you can decide or not whether or not this device is worth that kind of money. But if you ask me, so far I find this phone pretty decent. Everything works pretty well. We get a very good processor, 12 gigabytes of RAM, guys. Yeah, it really doesn't lag at all. Gaming is fine. The camera is pretty okay. Yeah, overall it's a pretty okay phone. So if you want to know any more about this Realme X3 Superzoom, please feel free to leave your comments down in the comment section below. Once again, this is Lim. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!